Welcome to the X-Ray Polarimetry Lab at the MIT Kavli Institute for Astrophysics and Space Research. Here, scientists are designing a space telescope to look at some of the brightest objects in our universe in a brand new way. The telescope will measure the orientation of X-ray light coming from these sources, which could reveal new information about our universe.
My name's Sarah Heine. I'm a research scientist at MIT. So we are working on making a telescope to measure soft X-ray polarization. So that's low energy X-ray polarization. And that's because the polarization of light from astrophysical sources tells us a lot about the sources we're looking at and a lot about how that light was produced. So we can use the information we get from those polarization studies to understand a lot more about neutron stars, active galactic nuclei, and other sources.
Hi, my name is Alan Garner. I'm a postdoctoral associate here at Kavli. The thing that excites me the most about this research is actually the objects that we're looking at. We're using these instruments to actually look at distant objects in our universe. Things like black holes and neutron stars and active galaxies. These things that are really, really bright in the X-ray, and we're trying to bring, technological capability to look at these objects that hasn't been done before. So we'll really see, and quite literally, a whole new light.
The information that's provided by polarization is information that you cannot get by any other means. And just generally speaking, in astrophysics, we want to be able to have all the tools available to us to understand the physics of what's occurring inside a source. So partly it's getting that extra information about other sources, but partly also it's about finding out something that you just didn't expect. The fun part is when you have some expectation in your mind as to what it might look like, and then it turns out, oh, sorry, you're wrong. And because you're wrong, you've learned something, because there are still things to find out about how the universe works. Really, the universe is much more complex and much more interesting and much more mysterious, perhaps, than what we already know about.
For me personally, I'm all about the instrumentation. So I love to build instruments and make them work. So it's just a new frontier in this type of measurement. Nobody is doing soft X-ray polarization. We're the only ones building an experiment that can do this particular thing. So you have X-rays coming down the beamline here. On this plate, we have several different slits. So basically that takes what is a big wide swath of X-rays and makes it a very skinny little line. And then it goes over here to this is what we call the grating stage. So usually we mount gratings here, and that little line will hit that and then be diffracted out through this aperture over there into the detector chamber, which is over there. I went into graduate school really excited about the science and interested in the instrumentation, and I came out of graduate school really excited about the instrumentation and interested in the science.
So I'm fortunate that I really get to work with one of the best teams in the world. It's a very open atmosphere to conduct research and ask questions and go down different sort of avenues and paths in your research that the sort of freedom that you don't often get. So I think this would be a great place for any student to work. When you work in our lab, you're working on topics that are at the cutting edge of the field. The things that we're trying to do here, we're quite literally doing things that people have never done before. So if that's the sort of thing you want to get into and you like black holes and neutron stars, but also literally getting your hands dirty in the lab, building the things that we use to look at those objects, then this would be a great fit for anyone. I never want to take for granted what we have available to us here, because we have the support that we need to conduct the research that we want to do. And that's not always true at a lot of environments, but here at MIT, they really take care of us.